Seems like a lot of stuff is happening with the Supreme Court. One of the biggest ones is U.S. Supreme Court to be hearing the challenge on the homeless ordinance ban. Now, one of the biggest things about this is California pretty much normalized people sleeping on the streets. It's not normal, right? I feel like here in the States, a lot of people, they feel like, downtown LA, a bunch of people sleeping on the streets, or downtown San Francisco, a bunch of people sleeping on the streets. I guess that's just normal. It's not normal, and don't normalize stuff like this. Now, if you look into the streets of San Francisco, this is kind of what it looks like at night, right? You just have a bunch of people, a lot of them doing fentanyl, a lot of them just sleeping on the floor. In fact, it's so normal now. This is part of San Francisco life. This is actually a civic center. This used to be a lot more cleaner. In fact, San Francisco, a lot of this stuff used to be centralized in the Tenderloin district, but it's already spreading out. Cops can't do anything. Oh, by the way, if you have a business right here, well, good luck. You're probably not getting any more clients or customers. And this is what's happening here, right? The state just doesn't care. A bunch of people overdose on fentanyl. And San Francisco has some of the most lax laws in the world. You could rob like $800, $900 and you're fine. You could be selling drugs on the streets and you could be fine. You could literally have a tent in downtown San Francisco and be good. And if you go to other countries, stuff like this is very rare. And this is because San Francisco is just so lax. There's a little bit too left. Now, obviously, I'm all down to help with people who are addicted to drugs or homelessness. There's so many cities around the world that do a much better job than San Francisco and the rest of California. But California, they're like, you know what? I guess our solution is just let them sleep on the streets. It's not great. Basically, you just killed tourism, you killed your shops, and a bunch of retail spaces moving out. Now, look at this, right? This is the Westfield Mall, San Francisco's biggest mall. They are just shutting down. Their valuation plummeted by $1 billion. This is Westfield. This is supposed to be like one of the highest end malls in the world, not just in America, because you're looking at like the Bay Area, right? The biggest mall in downtown San Francisco. This is supposed to be like the most high-end real estate you could find because it takes up like a couple blocks and it's massive in downtown San Francisco. But the valuation plummeted $1 billion because there's so much homelessness in this area. In San Francisco at this point, they need to do something extremely drastic to bring back the glory days. Because real estate is literally down in the dumps. San Francisco is so bad to the point that a lot of people here are even trying to vote to keep the homeless on the streets. They feel like it's unconstitutional and it's bad. Well, this is kind of like why your vacancy levels are almost at 40%. A bunch of stores, they literally can't survive. Business owners say that San Francisco is getting so bad. It's getting worse for restaurants because the homeless crisis is so bad. You saw that previous clip on X. You saw how bad the streets are. People actually say that's just the tip of the iceberg. You walk around to more locations, you got even more crazy encounters. And many of these stores are simply shutting down. Not to mention a lot of tourists just simply don't want to come to San Francisco. San Francisco, if you look at the LTE usage for downtown, which is kind of like near the Salesforce Park, it has plummeted by 70%, which means like 2 out of 3 office workers no longer commute to the city. And the Mission District, which is known for very nice restaurants and extremely high rents, are now suffering with plenty of these restaurants literally shutting down. These are all very good, tasty restaurants who used to cater for a lot of tourists and cater to a lot of the office workers are now super empty. San Francisco is no longer the tech hub as it was before. Still has great weather, still has good views of the bridge, but crime-wise, it is so bad. And tensions are actually high in San Francisco City. There's actually a lot of people on one side saying that streets are not homes, and another side says that you just keep the tents on the streets. And here's the thing. I'm not even sure why this is even like a controversial subject. I don't think people should be having like thousands of tents on downtown streets. Like, am I crazy or something? If you go to like a lot of cities, especially in like even Shanghai, right? If you go to Osaka, Tokyo, Seoul, Sydney, you don't see tents on the streets like San Francisco. Like, is that too much to ask? Business owners are literally shutting down. And that's just the way it is, right? You can't have people sleeping on the streets. It affects tourism, affects business, and so many people are leaving. This is why you have such a big exodus. But because you're in California, right, it's a little way too liberal, a little too left, pretty much caused its whole entire downfall. This is why a lot of people go into places like Miami, Tampa, Austin, Vegas. Despite a lot of these places are not necessarily tech or finance. It's more like hospitality and gambling. But those places are doing really well. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. And before we leave, check out the private Discord server, guys. 7-day free trial. And a lot of our traders are actually making a lot of money. So trade with us, guys. Make some money with us. It's a pretty incredible server. We're making money every single day. Live options plays. So check us out.